so click in your votes. Oh, verbal question. Yes, A is yes, B is no. Do you agree with their lineup? One of the things that has changed most in my classroom is the ability to get information and give feedback to students right away, to every student, and not just the select few that are willing to raise their hand, the outgoing student that doesn't mind doing that. Because some students don't want to get up in front, but especially with the response system, every student is accountable for providing an answer of some sort. And so collecting that data, using it to change what we might do the next day, what needs to be worked on more before we move on, and just being able to give them feedback on where they're at regarding the objectives we've set, I think is extremely valuable. Okay? And what I would like you to do is give the equation for that graph.
There will be a lot of times in class when Miss O'Flynn will put a problem up on the board and she'll say, okay, you guys should be able to do this problem fairly quick. It should be fairly easy for you. Well, then we all answer with the clickers and the majority of us get it wrong. So it surprises her and it lets her know that, we didn't know this.
Okay, so it would be 2 because the amplitude, all of the y values are by 1, right? So since it goes up to 2 for a maximum value, that's our amplitude. Okay.
It actually makes class a lot more fun, like the clickers or the CPS, that's what they're called. They're actually a lot of fun because people make it into a game almost, like who can be first to get it done, and everybody's doing it instead of, you get the people in the classroom that just sit there and don't do anything. But with that, everybody participates and everybody's in the classroom having a good time.
So the equation of our graph, we have 5 cosine of theta times the sine of 15 theta. And then we're going to check that on our graphing calculator. Last question. The y values here are from 0 up to, 6 up at the top. So the graph goes up to 5. And this is 360 degrees for the x value. So do I have a volunteer for number 1? You can just put your paper right under the document camera. Thank you, Brittany.
It's an adding one, so you just put it up here and then all the same, when they hit on the x-axis, they hit the same spot on this line. It just becomes a new center line. And then where it's 1 above, you go 1 above, and where it's 1 below, you go 1 below.
If we understand something, we get it explained to the other students we'll go up there and either use the document camera by putting our paper underneath and then rewriting it and explaining step by step, or we can use the tablet and walk around the room and say, this is how I did it, and show them exactly how we did it. I like it because it helps see a student's point of view. Sometimes a teacher will say over and over again to you and you don't understand it until a student will actually sit down with you and say, this is how you do it, because you're thinking kind of in the same frame of mind.
It's a great way for kids to share their work with others. It's almost as if every assignment they do has the potential to have an audience. It's not just their work on paper, and it stresses the fact that the work that you write is for the purpose of communicating to others.
So it'd be 2.71 to the third, which is a number.
Well, we fixed that one.
But the order that you had, it was 1/4 was Heather's.
Oh, so
and it was 0, and you just need to. You guys fixed it, but you missed the wrong order.
So Heather's
So you,
we had maybe 1 for our answer.
I think that instead of just writing an assignment that gets handed in for a teacher to look at, a lot of the assignments we do really aren't even graded assignments. It's much more for feedback. And so when we give some problems and then students actually come up and share their work, they get feedback from me, they get feedback from the rest of the class, and they have the opportunity to learn from that rather than having it be something that's graded and you miss points, you're penalized for that. It's more of a learning opportunity.